Okay guys, continue with our 2.1 inequalities with part quadratic inequalities. Before we learn about linear inequalities, so here quadratic inequalities. Alright, so I'm sure you are familiar with the word quadratic. Okay, you play a lot with quadratic equations, which the standard form of quadratic equation come in this form. Alright, how about quadratic inequalities? Quadratic inequalities. What is the difference with quadratic equation? Alright, quadratic inequalities also comes with the basic form of quadratic, but it comes with the symbol of inequalities, which we have 4. This standard 4, alright, and you have a constant there. Usually we put 0. Okay, so that's a big difference between quadratic equation and quadratic inequalities. And of course, now you should know that inequalities means of all these 4 symbols at the one, but equation means equal here. Okay, that's the introduction for quadratic. Okay guys, let's look at for quadratic inequalities. Alright, we have 3 choices of way for us to solve our quadratic inequalities. The first one is graph. Alright, second one is table of signs. Alright, and the third one is positive number line. Right, so now let's look at the first approach here, how we can solve the equation by using the graph method. Okay, for graph method, let's write our basic of quadratic. Okay, our graph methods depend on our A. Okay, either A is greater than 0 or A is less than 0. Okay, let's say we start with A greater than 0. And it comes with Y greater than 0. Okay, so that means Y here is actually AX squared plus BX plus C is greater than 0. Okay, let's say it comes in these 2 forms. For A greater than 0, of course, you know, the graph will be a smile graph. Am I right? Yes. It comes with the part C. Okay, this is our part C with the pintasan X. Let's say a number P and a number Q. Okay, if you have a smile graph and your question is Y greater than 0. Okay, where should you sketch your graph here? Because your sketch will determine your final answer, your solutions. Okay, when you have a smile graph and your Y is greater than 0, your shaded region should be to the left and to the right, or I can say it to left and right, or you can notify it as outside of the smile. Outside of the smile is here. Alright, okay, next one, let's look, alright, for you not to confuse, for A greater than 0 and it comes with Y less than 0. Okay, here A greater than 0 means that we still have smile graph. Okay, so when your question comes in form of quadratic inequalities less than 0, okay, you should draw the solution will lies between, okay, your solution will lies between P and Q, or I can say it as inside. Okay, this inside. So I can write this between P and Q, or it is inside. Okay, so I will explain to you how this shaded or this line matters. Okay, when we have a greater than 0 and your y is greater than 0, you draw this smile graph and you shade it to the left and to the right. Okay, this one only applies on the above part CH, di atas sahaja. Okay, di atas sahaja. So here our solution will be x less than p and x greater than q. This is our solution depending on the shaded or line that we noted here. Okay, how about this one? When you have a smile graph which comes from a greater than 0 and your equation is less than 0, so your shaded region will be inside or it is between p and q. So our solution is x lies between p and q. Okay, that's how important of us to find our final answer by draw the graph and by knowing where you should shade. Okay, next part. Okay, for this part, I change this one. Alright, the second part, I want you to look at when you have a less than 0, okay, and the equation comes with y positive, y greater than 0. Okay, your inequalities. Okay, our graph will change to the this pattern. Alright, kalau tadi senyum, okay, yang ni apa? Masap. Alright, so here we still maintain the value pintasan x. We have p and q. When a is negative, means that you shade it like this, graph masam, and your equation comes with quadratic inequalities greater than 0. Okay, greater than 0. So for you to draw, it is actually your x will lies between p and q. Okay, so it is, or you can shade as inside. Alright, between p and q, or it is inside. Right, that means that you punya solution adalah di dalam ini. So x lies between p and q. Okay, the next part, the last one, is your a is still negative and your y is less than 0. Your quadratic inequalities is less than 0. Okay, so a less than 0, a negative, that means you just draw this graph. Okay, what does it mean for here? Y less than 0. Okay, for y less than 0, you will draw the outside one. Okay, sorry, let's use this color. Or your x lies to the left or to the right. It is outside. So our conclusion is our solution of x will be x less than p union x greater than q. Okay, so looks here guys. If you can see what is the connection between on how you can shade the region, it's actually the opposite one. For example, when you have a greater than 0, y greater than 0, you shade it on the outside or to the left and to the right. It applies the same to a less than 0 and y less than 0. Okay, we shade to the left and to the right. Okay, then you have a greater than 0 and y less than 0. Okay, the smile graph, and y less than 0 means that at the bottom or inside or between p and q. That's why the solution lies here, and it applies to the opposite one, which is a less than 0 and y greater than 0. Okay, so actually for this part you can just, okay guys, you can just focus on these two only. Okay, the one in the box, the purple box, just focus in these two. Right. Why? Because we can change the equation for us to make our A must be positive, so that you can just focus A. When A is positive, we can just draw the smile graph. Okay, and then depending on Y, if Y is positive, we just sketch or draw a line to the left or to the right. When Y is negative, that means it is between P and Q. So it's just easy for you to just remember these two only by changing the original equations. Alright. So this part for the A less than 0, I just show you for you to know.